Welcome back to 23 Minute Reads with me, Mya D. This is kind of like my virtual book club because in these 5 minute or so videos, I share with you my takeaways from my current reading. Right now, that is Teaching to Transgress by Bell Hooks. As a part of my 23 to 23 challenge, I'm reading 23 minutes per day, every day, as an action of self love, as an investment into myself, and as a way of providing myself with some stability and consistency in an ever changing world. Hoping that you will join me along in this journey by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving some comments down there in that comment section so that we have an actual dialogue going on. Having in mind that while I have several decades of experience as an educator, performer, and researcher, I'm not the know-all be-all for this book. I'm simply providing a space for dialogue. Well, this week I read pages 151 through the end, and here are my takeaways. Let me get my notes. Takeaway number one is spectacle. The Ron Scapp quote reads, "We have to resist being turned into spectacles." It's taken from a dialogue between Bell Hooks and Ron Scapp. I understand this quote to mean that there is a need for the engaged educator to avoid becoming a celebrity, to avoid becoming popular, or more to be aware of what happens when you become a celebrity or popular. One of those things is overcrowded classrooms because, as they state in this section, the overcrowded classroom directly undermines engaged pedagogy because of things like your inability to build authentic relationships when you have a class that's 50, 70, 100, 200 students. So that community that was used as a foundation for the engaged pedagogy is a little harder to maintain when you have crowding in your classroom. Another example of that crowding is sometimes based on the fact that people are just showing up to see what all of the talk is about. So they're showing up to be bodies in the space, but not necessarily bodies that are looking to learn and engage with the content. They just want to see what all of the hype is about. So as a engaged pedagogue, as an engaged educator, it is important to know these things so that your classroom is still a space of learning rather than a spectacle. Takeaway number two is resistance. In several videos, I've spoken of language as a tool to build inclusivity. And in the new words section of the book, Bell Hooks reminds us that language is also used as a tool of resistance. The quote reads, "For in the correct usage of the words, in the incorrect placement of words, was a spirit of rebellion that claimed language as a state of resistance." I'm going to give you an example from the book. So let me turn to page 170, and it reads, "When the slaves sang 'Nobody knows the trouble I see,' their use of the word 'nobody' adds a richer meaning than if they used the phrase 'no one.' For it was the slave's body that was the concrete site of suffering." I lost my place. Sheesh. Standard English is reconfigured in a way that ruptures language and creates a tool of resistance. This tool of resistance is Black vernacular language. And Bell Hooks offers us this question of why then is this mode of language not used in the classroom? And I too have wondered why. Standard English is not a language that is indigenous to the United States of America. And it makes me wonder, if that is the case, then why is it the thing that needs to be used in the classroom or is only accepted in certain classrooms? I feel that at times that is because some educators equate Standard English with intelligence. So I offer this example. I once had a middle school student who spoke 5 languages and was not fluent in English. I would argue to say that that student had a different type of intelligence, that her singular only English speaking friends and classmates did not have. So I would encourage you to resist the urge to use standard English as a qualifier for intelligence in your classroom. Takeaway number 3, excuse me, community. Throughout the book, Hooks speaks of the power of classroom community. When a sense of belonging and support are created and nurtured in the classroom, students feel supported, and this makes it easier for them to transverse into the unknown so that they can build knowledge. They feel supported as they go into uncharted territory. And this is part of engaged teaching. This is a part of teaching to transgress. Well, that was all 3. And that was also the end of the book. So join me next week. Let me get our new book. Where we'll be reading Public Scholarship in Dance by Lynette Overby. Until then, stay blessed, spread a good word, and I'll see you again soon.